Hey, welcome back everybody. We are back in DayZ. That's right. We are talking about experimental branch 1.21 for Xbox and PC. Now, don't worry if you're on PlayStation. As soon as this does hit main branch, it will be out for everybody. So PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. So just pay attention to all the different changes that are happening here because it's coming for everybody. And really, honestly, the only reason why that's not on Sony right now is because they don't actually support like an experimental branch or an early access branch. So as soon as they do, games like this, games like Rust, and other early access games will definitely be coming to Sony. So here's to fingers crossed that they embrace that this year. Who knows? But anyways, regardless, it's coming for everybody, PlayStation especially. So just hang tight. So some of the major things we're going to cover here are some of the additions to this. We now have bows, crossbows, and there should be a fix for the duping that's happening. We'll get more into it here as we go through the list. But I do know there's a certain technique, as far as I understand it, that's being used, and I believe this will address most of those duping problems because a lot of people have said that the duping problem's gotten out of hand over on the console side, so we definitely welcome it. Ooh, do we have a burp? Yeah, we do. All right, now it's a video. Okay, so we're going to read the text, or I should say the summary that they have. Ooh, it's exciting, right? And we're going to, I have a bunch of hand-picked like patch items that I think will pertain to a lot of the community, so we'll go over those. All right, so here we go. It says, we're happy to announce the start of experimental period for game update 1.21. Let's go ahead and make this interesting, eh? I can fly! It says we've got a really interesting theme for this update. This time around, we're getting medieval and trying back and traveling. Geez, back to the medieval ages. Your boy still can't read. One of the new additions we're introducing is the Crossbow. Yes, DayZ's first ever spring-loaded weapon, spring-powered weapon. It can load a variety of bolts and be fitted with a number of sights and scopes. Legacy players may recall this model originally having a quiver, a characteristic we decided to scrap in order to focus on the behavior of the bolts. And honestly, that's fine. I believe you can still spawn them in if you're a server owner, but I believe they're super glitchy unless there's some kind of code in place for you. Anyways, let's go ahead and keep going. We decided to scrap in the behavior. It says our aim is to make the projectiles recoverable as well as animate them with every entity you hit. So, zombies. The ballistic properties and projectiles. The ballistic properties of projectiles along with recoverability are the most complex parts of the crossbow, and we're interested in seeing how they behave in public servers. It's gone quite well so far. The weather is kind of dumpy, you know what I mean? Let's bring it back up. So here, let me just land and shoot one or two so you guys can see what we're talking about. It is cool. I'm glad we have like an improvised bolt action. And I got to tell you, so since this is silent or close to silent, the fact that we can shoot this and then recover it is really nice. I mean, Walking Dead, anybody? Yeah, it's super nice. Let me see. Can I fade back a little bit? There you go. It's nice. Tell me you're not going to use this all the time. I know I will. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to flying so we make this a bit more interesting whilst we read. Okay. To animate the complex part, we are interested to see how they interact on the servers. Okay, while the crossbow itself may not strictly be medieval, I mean, technically it is. They did have crossbows back then, just not the kind we think of. We've incorporated medieval-themed replicas of various items and clothing throughout the world. Don't worry, we'll let you find them on your own instead of spoiling the fun here. Another important addition that comes with this update is server login delay when switching between multiple accounts on consoles. Let me just go ahead and touch base on this for a second, and then we'll continue onward. So again, this is the most likely technique that people are using, as far as I understand it, for duping, and I think this is going to help curtail it. Now, for people that are like creators or people that have multiple accounts, I don't know what this is going to do for us, as it tacks on more login delays. You'll see this as we start to go through the different patch notes. It kind of tells you what that system's going to do. But hey, you know what? I'm willing to take the hit if it means no duping. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we use multiple accounts all the time because we have stream snipers galore. So, I mean, I welcome, multiple accounts, but I got to tell you, if it takes out the duping, I'm all for it. So, it is what it is. Okay. Geez, I got the burpees, right? We hope this change will result in healthier gameplay, as it will be far more time-consuming to use multiple accounts on one server during a given game. You know what I mean? I guess we'll have to find out. You know, it's been a minute since we've jumped into DayZ, but we'll definitely check it out for sure. We'll let you know. Like I said, I'm all for no duping. So, like I said, if it helps kill the population of dupers, then we'll take the hit. Okay, experimental updates. 1.21 also comes with a rebalance of quick slots. So now you won't have to open your inventory as often. Fall damage has been rebalanced, as well as should be much more readable, I guess. Continuing with the theme of readability, we now have the option to adjust the brightness of in-game UI. What I think this is going to do for us is, you know how nighttime you jack up your brightness, and then sometimes when you click to your inventory, it's like obnoxiously bright? I think it'll help that. Yeah, so I think that's what that's all about. Furthermore, we've adjusted the lighting and inventory camera. These two improvements should make your inventory much more pleasant to look at. We've also made a few fixes regarding thrown items falling through the ground. We're curious to learn how often you stumble upon this issue after this update. Okay. One more thing we're introducing is the ability to spawn bushes, trees, and rocks through the server-side object spawner. There's been so many fantastic servers, both on the PC side, but especially on the console side, because we're so restricted. But with the help of PCs, you can actually modify the console servers quite well, and people have made some amazing servers. I mean, if you played any community servers, you know what we're talking about. There's like arenas, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff. Did I actually get clipped back there? By the cables? Did the cables get me? What got me? That's crazy. Hang on, am I invincible? I am. That's so weird. Anyways, we're going to keep moving. I think the cables got me. We got cuts. Oh, I must be somewhere where somebody can actually munch me because we're flying around, right? Oh, yeah. I think a wolf is munching on us. There we go. Is that better? We're doing better now. Okay. Jeez. So it's really cool. And then they said they've got Linux servers, and if you're interested in running a Linux server, you can do so. Okay, so let's go over some of the hand-picked items here. We don't want to make this terribly long. We are going to go over all the different variations for clothing, so I guess if you don't want to know what that is, then you can go ahead and skip if you want to. Okay, so we have the crossbow and color variants. We have bolts, improvised bolt variants, sword, mace, chainmail leggings, chainmail coif, not to be confused with coitus, a Norse helm, chest plate, medieval boots, wool gloves and fingerless color variants, feathers, game hints in the loading screen, added new game hints, thrown items, and moving vehicles now move smoother on high refresh rate devices. Does that mean the better systems like the PS5s and the Series X? Is that what that means? I think it does. I'm unclear, but anyways, here's a big one for proximity chat for Xbox. It said proximity chat was not audible on Xbox when the user was in party chat. That's a big one. Human interaction in this game is a big deal. I don't know about you, but we almost exclusively play with game chat on, so that's nice to see. Accepting a friend invite to a server while connecting to a separate server would not cancel the ongoing process. Okay. So here are some of the hand-picked pieces that we have out of here. So accessing ladders from crouch position could offset the character's collision, essentially creating like a desync scenario or like where your hitbox is off. We have some clothes, accessories, tools, and car parts could not be shot through. These have all been fixed. A damaged battery could lose quality when swapped, has also been fixed. Thank you. Desync when reconnecting near a car or entering a car's running network bubble could result in the client showing a stalled state for the car. Also good, because then you get erratic behavior with the vehicle. So anything with desync and like that network bubble around cars is definitely a plus. I gotta tell you though, last time we drove around in a car with like, I don't know, an update like 3-4 months ago, dude, it ran great. I think we had like a land speed record and we flipped the car. It was amazing. Anyways, so yeah, any improvements there is great. Aiming while prone would not take certain terrain surfaces into account normally, so that's good. So basically you could shoot through stuff, so that's been fixed. We now have fixed an issue where players with a poor network connection could influence the connection of other players. That's good, because that can be exploited like crazy. We got the proximity chat. It says fixed further exploits to look through walls. Thank you. Fixed an exploit that could glitch through walls. Also good for people that have bases. Ruining handcuffs would not free the cuffed player. Arming, disarming, this is a big one. Arming, disarming damaged remote detonation units would reset the health of the explosives and detonator. And this is also a big one to go along in the same vein as this one, saying links between remote detonators and explosives were not persistent. They should be now. Thank goodness. Interrupting the building of another player could result in desync. Thank goodness that's been fixed. Then we have login timer will be, this is also along with the whole duping thing. Login timer will be prolonged upon immediate account or device switch with escalating time on repeated attempts. So I still hope that we can switch characters. It just looks like it's going to be a stacking effect. So again, if people duping, that's really going to kind of take it off the table. So that's good. Increase the audibility of explosions. That's fantastic. Isn't there a castle up here? I kind of forget where I am. Oh, this is the radio station, isn't it? Increase the audibility. It says reduce the weight of plastic explosives by 60%. Ripened horticulture plants now stay for twice as long before they start to decay. Increase the minimum amount of quick slots available to the player. Then we have reduce the amount of additional quick slots given by certain gear. Washed hands is now a continuous action. Tweak the width of all tire tracks. Improvised fishing rod can now be dismantled. That's sweet. And then we have slightly increase the damage of the Sarka 120 takes from impacts. And that is all we have for the current updates for 1.21. Now, there should be some small hot patches and stuff throughout the coming weeks. But we'll be jumping in here, checking it out. I mean, we primarily play over on the console side, so we'll be checking it out. So anybody who's PlayStation, essentially, I mean, functionally, they are the same thing. There's some subtle differences, but like realistically, it's the Xbox and PlayStation version are like the same. So if you like what's going on there, then be excited for your PlayStation version because it's coming. So yeah, hopefully you guys found this useful and helpful. Be sure to drop a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye. Should we rip some shots like men?